besides just making a part look more realistic or more interesting, creating colors and changing the way they look in contrast to each other, the different parts and different elements, is actually a pretty big deal in CAD design. So today we're going to be looking at appearances. Now appearance down here, A is the hotkey. Let me hover back over here. You can see this. The appearance affects the colors, as it says here, components and faces. It does not affect the physical properties of the part itself. That'll be later down the road. You can pretty much, click on it and figure it out yourself. But physical material will do that. So somewhere down the road, we will be talking about stuff that you would find under inspect and the properties of a part, where you could find out like the center of gravity, or the mass or surface area of it, right? And the physical material will be something that would become important there, right? So that you know that it actually weighs what it's supposed to weigh because you picked aluminum and not steel, okay? Today, we're just going to look at coloring things. And so, by the way, look at this picture right here. So we have this little picture of this box knife, and you see we got yellow, we got blue, we got black, the logo on there and such, and, the knife is kind of grayish, right? Now, that looks probably similar to, I guess you'd say, what the real part's going to look like. But another way that you could do this is have just incredibly contrasting colors, so that anybody looking at your assembly, by the way, would see that these parts are distinctly different elements. So it's helpful in that respect. So if your part in reality is an assembly, let me address that a little bit. Right now we're just making parts, right? So we're dealing with an individual part. You probably are not going to, should not make your part different colors unless it's going to be painted down the road, right? The idea is a part is not aluminum and gold at the same time. Those are two different parts, and then you would be assembling them. Anyways, in assembly, let's say that the actual assembled real part that you're going to manufacture is 5 different shades of gray. Gray, 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 and gray. But they are actually distinctly different parts put together. Well, you might have a model that shows that, but you also might have another one that has all of those elements in high contrasting color. So again, anybody looking at this down the road could see that those are distinctly different elements and they need to be manufactured separately. Okay? Down the road, more on that when we get to assembly. So today is just simple coloring. And it's good for fun, and yeah, well, just say good for fun, right? And fun at this point in time is a great thing because it keeps you making things. If we keep this really sterile, then it's going to be a little bit more difficult to keep practicing this. So let's make a model like normal, and just for no other reason than to keep going through the same kind of motions again. So I've went into Sketch on a plane. I made a shape again. As always, I hit E for extrude, and I bring this thing up. I hit OK, and we got this. And I hit the top plane up here, and I go into Sketch, and I'll make another one like this, and I'll hit E for extrude, and I'll drop this through, oops, through all. Through all. And let's say that this is my part. If I want to, I can come here, Appearance, or just click over here and hit A on your keyboard, and it brings up this window. So this is all I want to do in this one here. I just want to explain a little bit about this, and it's really pretty easy, but it is a little bit different than other programs. This right now is the default that it is. Again, this is the appearance. It's steel, it's satin, if I change this right now, I can double click on this and I can change the color right there. And in a way, there you have it, right? We could stop the video right there. But I feel that there's kind of a problem with this, because if you are going to have multiple colors on this thing, contrary to what I just said, this is an individual part, and if it's steel, it's going to be steel colored, right? But maybe you're going to paint this after the fact and you just want certain things to stand out, or just like I said, also, you just want to have some fun. This right now is applied to the whole body as opposed to a face. So what I can do is, what I do want to do is I want to pick a different material here. And so these are, again, they're not affecting the physical properties of it, but they do have the look of the object that they're talking about. So if I wanted to go with something, a textured glass, They have a few different ones here. I could say I want to do frosted glass, let's say. So I grab this, it's all for the whole body. I grab this and I drag this out and I drop it on it. This doesn't have any color to it, it's just gray. It's waiting for you to apply it. As you notice that this one here kind of turned green after I slid some, sliders around. You take this, you double click on it. By the way, not this down here. This is the main, this is the total, this is the default one. You want to edit the instance of it that you have up here in this design. So let's say that this glass is kind of like a, I don't know, a jade-ish looking kind of color. We could bring this up. I could do this, and then I could hit advanced if I want to, and I could start to play with some of the other values here, the roughness of it, whether or not you see any difference, depends upon what you picked. And then you hit OK, and then there you have it. So now this is glass. Okay, so that's the idea. Now this one here, particularly glass, it's kind of tough to work with because of the transparency of it. Now, it's good when you want something to be transparent so you can see through to the rest of everything, so that could be cool. But let's say we just wanted to color it. A lot of times you might, metal's kind of cool. The aluminum, anodized aluminum here is pretty great. So if I grab this and I drag this out, now it's a blue anodized, and it's up here. Now these here that you're not using, if you want, you can delete them. I would highly recommend delete the things all across the board. Delete things that you're not using. Less crap around here. I could double click this. I brought it out, it says it's blue, but we could change it to whatever color we want. Get over here. Okay, done. So that's kind of nice. If you just want something kind of plain, then you can look through here. There's paint in here somewhere, and plastic. If you just want to paint it a glossy color, then pick something. Again, it doesn't really matter what the name is. It's all just paint. If this is enamel glossy or flat or something like that, that'll give you a little bit of some of those extra advanced sliders will be moved a little bit, like the roughness and the refraction and such. So like if I bring this out here, it's that instance called blue, but whatever. Again, I could double click it and I could make it kind of a purple. Okay, so that in itself is appearance. If I want to apply it just to faces, then I can come up here, see how now I can just select face. I say I want green right there. So this one here is the purple for the body. This is the green for the face. And so obviously you can see that the face coming after that, it over the top of the body, it took precedence of it. Then I want to add in, let's put green. Now let's put the same green on the bottom here. So I grab this and bring that over there. So it's the same green, not another instance, because if I drag another instance out there, then I might have to change the two separately. And then maybe I will, how about we'll grab anodized aluminum and we'll put it in the middle there. So there's how you do that. All right, one last thing, I think. If you're going through here and you see some stuff, let's go through metal, and I want to go to bronze, I guess. Oh, nope, nothing under bronze. Lead, nothing there. Steel, here we go. So if I want to make it a cast steel, let's change it back over to body, and I'll bring this out here. Do you want to do this? Yeah, I want to remove everything else, and now it's just cast steel. So if I look at it in the light, there you go. Can you see that? So it has a little bit of a texture of sorts to it, right? Old style video games. Again, you can change the color if you like. Whatever you want to do there. But what I want to talk about is, so you look through here and you go, oh, I want to try some galvanized. Let's throw some galvanized on there. Oh, that's interesting. And anything that has a texture or a pattern on it, you can come in here and you can change the scale, because the bumpiness of it, the texturing of it, so typical with any kind of, like, if you ever done, game skinning or anything like that, you change the scaling of it. If you do too far to one way or the other, then the pattern of the texture starts to come out and it doesn't look real at all. So find out what makes you happy here. You could rotate it around, which in this case isn't too much of a deal, but sometimes you'll find that it's going too much the straight direction. You want to kind of confuse it a little bit. And then roughness, you may or may not be able to really see a hell of a lot of difference there. Okay, so that's that. That's that in a nutshell. But then what I wanted to show you here, though, is when you scroll down and you see these other things like brushed radial or steel knurled. Let's do knurled, right? And you grab this and you drag it out and nothing happens, nothing happens. Well, if you look over here, what they're saying is, do you want to download it? You have to download this material. And simple enough. I mean, all you have to do is click it and give it a minute and it will download. Little arrow right there. That's it. It's done, right? So I think that's nice because we keep an online library of these, and anytime that anything new comes out, kind of like a Linux repository or Android app store or whatever, anybody can add on to this and then it just update this program and say, hey, they're there. And also you don't have to have every texture in the world on your computer, just the ones you need. So now if I take steel knurled and I bring it out here, now I can apply it. So look at that. That's kind of cool. And again, I can come here and slide it around. With the steels and things, I usually make them a little bit blue because it just seems like they have a hint of that, I guess. Whatever you want to do. And yeah, there you can kind of, yeah, there you go. You can kind of see the roughness there. Then okay. Right, so that is appearance. That's all I want to show there. Play around with that one, keep building some parts, make them different colors. This should add to kind of the make it a little bit more interesting as you're going through here, and hopefully another reason to continue making things.